A new study shows that Facebook gets more engagement from misinformation than real news. The study conducted by NYU Alpes found that while misinformation prevailed across all political ideologies, the right wing had a higher propensity to share misleading information than others. According to the documents reported by the Wall Street Journal, many celebrities, politicians, and high profile Facebook users had different rules governing what content they could post. Facebook was unduly influenced by its political and commercial considerations than the actual safety or concern for its users. Considering this, we ask, what does Facebook's complicity in promoting misinformation mean for India? The crisis of misinformation on social media and on platforms like WhatsApp continue unabated. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, 1,527 cases of fake news were registered in 2020, more than 3 times the cases in 2019. This epidemic of misinformation has been harmful to the extent that fact-checking organizations such as Alt News spend a large portion of their bandwidth dispelling fake news on social media. Over the years, misinformation has led to mob violence, lynching, and violent crimes, especially against minority communities in India. In fact, Frances Haugen, a former Facebook employee and whistleblower, recently pointed out that despite being aware of RSS users, groups, and the pages that promoted fear-mongering and anti-Muslim narratives, the social media giant Facebook did not take action or flag this content. She went on to testify that Facebook's language capabilities are inadequate and led to global misinformation and ethnic violence. Facebook only flagged and reported 0.2% of hate speech that was taken down by these automated checks. The pogrom in Delhi in 2020 was similarly live-streamed on Facebook by participants in violence, encouraging people to take up arms and kill minority communities. One such person, Ragini Tiwari, who live-streamed the violence while calling for mob violence against Muslims, remains free and till date has not been charged with any legal action. Days before the pogrom, calls for violence were spread across the Facebook groups. However, neither Facebook nor any of these accounts were held accountable for their actions. This problem of misinformation extends to other applications owned by Facebook as well, such as WhatsApp. Multiple cases of mob lynching against minority communities show that rumors on WhatsApp have been catalysts to violence. In 2018, 32-year-old Mohammad Azam, a software engineer, was killed by a mob in Karnataka after being branded as a child abductor on WhatsApp. A study conducted by MARA and LSC notes that widely held prejudices against minorities are legitimized through misinformation on WhatsApp. The study also found that structures of the WhatsApp groups mirrors the patriarchal structures of the household. Misinformation and fake news shared on social media in India is not questioned as seniority within the household takes precedence. Say, for instance, if an older member of the family shared misinformation on WhatsApp, this is fact-checked by a younger member of the family or women in the family, the intervention would not always be effective. Misinformation on social media, combined with existing social structures and prejudice, can be very dangerous for minorities in India today. Facebook's platforming of misinformation can thus be seen as abetting violence against minorities, but also increasingly eroding the social fabric of the communities. Curbing the spread of misinformation and preventing violence stemming out of social media platforms must become a priority. As the case of Facebook in India shows, they not only have blood on their hands, they have also created conditions that make it impossible to hold the current government accountable.